Welcome to Sri Sarada Devi, Vegetarian, the Manifestation of Divine Motherhood.
We have to surrender ourselves completely to the Lord with faith and devotion in Him, serve others to the best of our capacity, and never be a source of sorrow to anybody. Sri Sarada Devi.
Born on December 22, 1853, in Jairambati, West Bengal in India, Sri Sarada Devi was the wife and spiritual consort of 19th century Hindu master and saint Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Sarada Devi is also endearingly known as the Holy Mother or Sri Sri Ma by the followers of the Sri Ramakrishna monastic order. A venerated woman saint and mystic of the 19th century, Sri Sarada Devi was the embodiment of purity. She prepared for the future generation of women to take up monasticism and played an important role in the growth of the Ramakrishna movement. Sri Sarada Devi was filled with compassion and lived to ease the suffering of people around her. Sri Sarada Devi was the eldest daughter of humble and pious Brahmins, Ramachandra Mukhopadhyay and Shyama Sundari Devi. Her father, Ramchandra, earned his living as a farmer and performing priestly duties. According to traditional accounts, Sri Sarada Devi's parents had visions foretelling the birth of a divine being as their daughter. Living the simple life of an Indian village girl, Sri Sarada Devi was fascinated by traditional Hindu folklore and tales. She did not receive any formal education. She learned to serve others by helping her mother with household chores and caring for her younger brothers. During the famine of 1864, Sri Sarada Devi worked ceaselessly with her family to serve food to hungry people. She started meditating since childhood, and during her meditation, she would see a group of 8 girls her age escorting her in her chores. Even as a child, she was devoted to God. According to India's tradition, when she was about 6 years old, Sri Sarada Devi was betrothed to Sri Ramakrishna, who was a priest of the Dakshineswar Kali temple at the time. After the event, Sri Sarada Devi continued to live with her parents while Sri Ramakrishna returned to Dakshineswar to live a life in devotion to God. When she was 14 years old, Sri Sarada Devi met up with Sri Ramakrishna, spending 3 months with him at Kamarpukur. During this time, Sri Ramakrishna imparted instructions on meditation and spiritual life to her. At the age of 18, Sri Sarada Devi walked all the way to Dakshineswar to meet her husband. By this time, Sri Ramakrishna had immersed himself in the intense practice of several spiritual disciplines for more than 12 years and had reached the highest state of realization. Once living together, Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Sarada Devi lived a chaste, godly life. Sri Sarada Devi assured Sri Ramakrishna, stating, "I am here to help you realize your chosen ideal." He went on to teach Sri Sarada how to live a spiritual life, following the spiritual path. Sri Ramakrishna regarded Sri Sarada Devi as a special manifestation of the Divine Mother of the universe, addressing her as Shri Ma, meaning Holy Mother. As a priest, Sri Ramakrishna performed the customary ceremony, Shudashi Puja. Sri Sarada Devi would sit on the seat of goddess Kali, and she was worshipped as the Divine Mother Tripura Sundari, thus awakening her latent universal motherhood. Sri Sarada Devi looked upon Sri Ramakrishna's disciples as her own children. She lived in contentment, serving the increasing number of devotees who came to see Sri Ramakrishna without any complaints and residing in a small room with few amenities. Sri Sarada Devi's days would begin at 3 a.m., when she would practice meditation until daybreak. Sri Ramakrishna taught her the sacred mantras, and she is regarded as his first disciple. Most of her time was spent in cooking for Sri Ramakrishna and his devotees. She played an important role in nursing Sri Ramakrishna during his last days when he was suffering from throat cancer. It is recorded that after Sri Ramakrishna's passing in August 1886, Sri Sarada Devi had visions of him asking her not to dress like a widow, as he had not passed away, but had merely gone from one room to another. Let's take a moment to contemplate on the divine within. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Sri Sarada Devi, Vegetarian, the Manifestation of Divine Motherhood. After Sri Ramakrishna's passing, Sri Sarada Devi spent some months in pilgrimage with a group of women disciples, including Gopadarma Lakshmi Didi, Sri Ramakrishna's householder and monastic disciples. They visited the city of Ayodhya, which has connections to the god Rama and the god Shiva's Vishwanath temple at Benares. Sri Sarada Devi is said to have experienced Nivirkapa Samadhi while staying at Vrindavan. After reaching this highest state of consciousness, she began her role as guru and started accepting spiritual seekers as her disciples. She became the open portal to immortality for hundreds of people, initiating several of Sri Ramakrishna's disciples, including Mahendranath Gupta. Her great universal mother heart, endowed with boundless love and compassion, embraced everyone without any distinction. In the years after the pilgrimage, Sri Sarada Devi lived alone in the village of Kamapakur, where she endured poverty for a year until the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna invited her to live in Calcutta. Udbodhan House, also known as Mayabati, meaning Holy Mother's House, was built for her by Swami Saradananda. At Udbodhan House, Sri Sarada Devi was highly venerated for her spiritual status and was worshipped as the Divine Mother. She lived like a simple village mother, washing clothes, sweeping floors, cooking, and serving food. An increasing number of people began to flock to her for guidance and spiritual initiation. According to her biographers, she had a natural motherliness that put visitors at ease. Her disciples were her children. A disciple, Swami Nikhilananda, wrote, "Though she had no children of the flesh, she had many of the spirit." According to the Swami, Sri Sarada Devi was conscious of her divine nature, but she rarely expressed this awareness. As a teacher, she taught the realization of God alone is real, and everything else impermanent. Her disciples felt awed and uplifted when she blessed them by touching their head with the same hand which had touched the feet of God. Sri Sarada Devi received the highest respect from the Ramakrishna order and its devotees. Sri Ramakrishna had requested that she continue his mission after his death and wanted his disciples not to make any difference between himself and Sri Sarada Devi. She looked upon herself as the mother of all beings, including animals and birds, and spent her whole life serving them, experiencing unending sacrifice and self-denial. Swami Vivekananda regarded Sri Sarada Devi as the ideal for women in the modern age on account of her immaculate purity, selfless service, unconditional love, wisdom, and spiritual illumination. He believed that the spiritual awakening of women in modern times had begun with the advent of the Holy Mother. Sri Sarada Devi played an important role as the advisory head of the Ramakrishna Mission, a monastic order devoted to social work. She also initiated several renowned monks into the Ramakrishna order. Sri Sarada Devi advocated education for women and entrusted Sister Devamata with a girls' school on the Ganges, where Eastern and Western pupils could study together. Sri Sarada Math and Ramakrishna Sarada Mission, a monastic order for women, was later founded in honor of Sri Sarada Devi in 1954. During her final years, Sri Sarada Devi moved between Jairambati and Calcutta. She passed away on July 21, 1920, at Mayabadi in Calcutta. Her body was covered with wreaths of flowers and taken to Belur Math over the Ganges to be cremated. A white temple was built on that spot in the memory of her life, which was lived in perfect purity. Considered as Sri Sarada Devi's last message to the world are the words, "I tell you one thing, if you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others. Rather, see your own faults. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is a stranger, my child. This whole world is your own."
I am the mother who will look after them, if not I, Sri Sarada Devi.
We are thankful for the presence of such selfless beings on our earth as Sri Sarada Devi, guiding countless souls back to God and liberation. Enlightened viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company today.